Call to order. Good evening. Welcome to the City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, January 20, 2026. And if you all would like, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Bowling.
Here.
Freed.
Here.
Lockhart.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
O'Doherty. Here. Shumway.
Here.
Behill.
Here.
Richardson. Here. Cumby.
Here.
That's 9 present and 0 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. We'll start with, is there any public comment on non-agenda items?
Mayor, we have Tom Matamore signed up as well.
I see Mr. Matamore on his way up. Good evening.
Honorable Mayor, City Councilors, thank you. You'll have to forgive me, I just broke my glasses, so my notes are a little bit, I have to stretch to read them.
Do you need any help?
No, I'm good. Great. Thanks, Doug.
They're 2.0s.
Perfect. All right, we are in the middle of a comprehensive plan, development for a new comprehensive plan, and the City Council is about to go into a retreat session for a couple of days. I would like you to consider doing some more work on the municipal code as far as development and construction and lots go. I think it's become an impediment to our economic development, and we've done a lot of work thanks to Derek and the staff at planning. We've got ADUs, we got all kinds of things get done, decrease the lot size, got to do away with garages as a mandatory, and increase parking. But that generally is not conducive to commercial. We need to look at Section 15 as far as commercial development goes, and we're I think we're way too rigid on facades, landscaping, types of buildings and construction, and I think we need to take another look at that. We've done, it's made it really difficult to do site plans for commercial, and I mean, it's increased the fee structures for engineers, architects, and everything else to comply with the code. Most of this code is subjective. Section 15 is pretty much all subjective, what we want things to look like. And that all came about because of some of the egregious planning practices of the 1970s. But I think a lot of that was written by people who were trying to fix the 1970s, and they overcorrected. So I think we need to consider that to become a standard and part of the city government, that we review our codes and practices and see if there's any way we can increase the accessibility of business and other people to get in here. The planning department does a great job, but it just takes forever to get anything done. It's not the people, it's the process and the code that seem to be a problem, and we need to see if we can improve that. And I think with your wonderful choice for the new city manager, it might get something done. And also, I'm going to push this in the comprehensive plan meeting on Thursday. So thank you for your time. I appreciate your assistance on that.
Thank you, Mr. Matamore. I appreciate your comments, and especially we appreciate your service on the Planning Commission. Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, sir. And if you can state your full name for the record, please.
My name is Bob Blake. I live at 167 Millbrook Road. I'm here to talk a little bit about what he talked about. I've been a builder in Laramie since 1960, and I've been a big part of it, so building's my life. And I'm aged away from it, so I've stepped back. But I wanted to tell you, I've paid attention to kind of what he's talked about and what you're going through and everywhere. I own all the land, vacant land between 7th and Highway 30 to the top of the hill. And when I built and owned Prairie's Edge, we had planned 300. We preliminary platted 300 houses in that area. And since that time, there's been a few changes, and we've only put 100 houses in that area. So what we ran up against is a city problem. We didn't know when we started. I was told by city staff at the water department back then that there was water pressure, but the city lines would not take care of it. And so they never increased the pressure. Therefore, I couldn't build any more houses. So I would have had 300 houses out there north of town if we had city water pressure to do that. And I understand there's zones and things they can do, but I was told city could throw a valve and probably have a lot of leaks if they did that. So what I'm asking is you consider that thought when you're trying to drum up housing and subdivisions around Laramie. I've already got 150 houses, lots ready to go. I don't want freebies, I don't want charity. I'll pay for my own water and sewer lines or somebody other than this old body. But anyway, we're ready and we can do it if you would kind of revisit that problem. If you have any questions, I'd answer. If not, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your comments. Much appreciated. Any further public comment? Next, is there any public request to remove a consent agenda item and place it on the regular agenda? Seeing none, Vice Mayor, if you can motion to set the agenda, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the agenda be set as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion from Richardson, second Newman. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Bowling,
Yes.
Freed,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
O'Doherty,
Yes.
Shumway,
Yes.
Behill,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Next, we have a proclamation that I'm going to read for Arbor Day celebration. So I'll explain a little something. We missed this one back in June when we should have done it, which was June 12th. We need to have this proclamation in order for us to maintain our national status as a Tree City, USA. So tonight, we are going to read the June 12th proclamation. So, whereas this year, last year, 2025, is the 153rd anniversary of the first Arbor Day. In 1972, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. Whereas the planting of trees is a vital step in developing civic pride and a sense of community by providing an abundance of environmental advantages, including battling increasing carbon emissions and providing aesthetic advantages to citizens and wildlife wherever they are found. And whereas the state of Wyoming has designated the last month in April as the State Arbor Day, and all communities in Wyoming can designate their own Arbor Day based upon the climatic conditions of the community, and whereas the governing body for the city of Laramie desires to participate in the annual celebration of Arbor Day, and whereas the city of Laramie has celebrated Arbor Day beginning in 1984, and this year, 2025 will be Laramie's 41st Arbor Day. And whereas the City of Laramie Arbor Day celebration was held on Thursday, June the 12th, 2025, 9 a.m. at Optimus Park, where 6 apple trees were planted with the help of the Laramie Girl Scout Troop 1347. Now, therefore, I, Sharon Cumby, Mayor and President of the City of Laramie, Wyoming City Council, do hereby proclaim June 12th, 2025 as Arbor Day. And we urge residents of Laramie to plant trees and to support our city's community forestry service. And Kyle, is there anything you'd like to say?
There's not.
No.
We'll be better next year.
All right, we'll be on it next year.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah,
just
this
so
year.
proud that we are a Tree City, USA.
Yeah.
Would you like to come up and get your proclamation? And then we're going to take your picture with us. Just push it forward or back. There you go, Kyle. Congratulations. And you just stand anywhere and we'll stand around you.
Yeah, we'll be back, sure. You can just scratch out the date.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Kyle, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is our city arborist. Next, we'll go to public hearing, and City Clerk, if you can read the public hearing on original ordinance number 2116.
Thank you, Mayor. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing of the Laramie City Council will be held Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at 406 Ivinson Avenue, Council Chambers, and via Zoom meeting for the following purpose. Original ordinance number 2116, amending Laramie Municipal Code Title 13, Division 7, Chapter 13.80 related to surface water drainage. All information relative to this matter is available for review at the City of Laramie City Clerk's office at 406 Ivinson Avenue, Laramie, Wyoming. Anyone wishing to be heard should be present or may be represented by his or her agent at the meeting or via Zoom. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, City Clerk. Is there any public comment on this public hearing? Seeing none, we will move on to announcements. City Manager Feaser, are there announcements?
Honorable Mayor, we've got 4 announcements tonight. First will be Philip Gabatuller from Planning, followed by Brandon Moan, Management Analyst out of City Manager's Office, Jen Wade, Administrative Services Director, and finally Chief Brian Brown for the Rockstar of the Month recognition.
Thank you. Mr. Gabatuller.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of council. I just want to make a quick announcement about a pretty exciting public engagement opportunity we got going on for the comprehensive planning effort. The Forge Exchange is what it's called. And we partnered with AARP actually to get some funding to put together a display where it's an interactive display that we're going to invite the public to engage with different exercises to shape the plan and the vision of the comprehensive plan. We are in the Laramie Main Street office, so they split it right down the middle. We kind of have the left side. The displays are all in. So it's open. I will just make, since the public and you guys are here this evening, I'll just say Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Thursdays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Of course, we're going to put a Facebook post out about this, and it's going to be on the project website. But we opened last Friday, so it's kind of a soft opening, but we will be back there tomorrow and through the end of March, gathering input there. So please come check it out during those hours and be happy to engage.
Well, Thank you very much, and congratulations on what looks like a really exciting public engagement process. Thank you. Next announcement. Good evening, Mr. Mon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. That needs to be on. I just have one quick piece for you guys. I learned today that the City of Laramie has been nominated for a Just Serve City Award. Just Serve is an international volunteerism organization that nominates various cities throughout the country and some internationally that have done a very good job of promoting volunteerism, getting folks out in the community. And I can say that we've been nominated for that award. This organization was present at National League of Cities in Salt Lake in November, I think, of last year. We will be posted on their website. They're going to be giving us some help with a volunteer specialist locally that they'll come kind of help us work through any issues we might have, since they seem to know a thing or two. And it sounds like once we reach out to them, they'd like to set up some sort of award ceremony to let the city claim that in person and be able to really hoist it high. So
Very good.
that's what I have, and if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Councilors, any questions? Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Not a question, but a comment. I just appreciate, you've done so much work, Brennan, and putting this together and gathering volunteers and outreach to community. And so I think so much of this you should really take ownership of and feel proud of. You've done a really great job. So thanks for all of your work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. And I'd like to just shout out Ramon Sandoval. He has begrudgingly learned this software and done most of the work, and then I get to reap the benefits. So, and he loves getting recognized. So please say thank you to him when you can.
And I know that's not true.
He will not be happy with me.
Thank you very much. And Director Wade. Oops. Oh, Councilor Shumway.
Just briefly, Brittany Brigham is the coordinator for Just Serve here in Laramie.
Okay. Thank you. Director Wade.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. I'm going to join the parade this evening of recognizing people who don't want to be recognized and tell you that towards your council goal of modernizing our enterprise resource planning, our business software, we have reached our third milestone, and we are now fully live, processing our first monthly payroll. And so all of the setup has been complete. Our first semi-monthly payroll is out the door. It went off without a hitch. The monthly payroll is a little hitchier. We would have expected that. Big shout out to the team of people who this week is holed up in a room working on this. Finance people, they are elusive. They do tend to be more quiet, but they deserve a huge shout this week. They have done so much work. So it's been the HR team and the finance team that have really partnered on this phase of the project. And I want you to know that this group has succeeded, even though both offices were down a staff member for most of the year, and the finance office continues to be down a staff member. So really exceptional work, and in particular, on the part of Finance Manager Jim Malmberg, who I feel like has carried this project like a heavy weight on her back for months and months and months on end. She has done nothing but work on this project during her day, during her nights, and on the weekend. And I think it's really important you know that. And so big shout out to that team. Yeah.
That has been a big lift, and thank you to Finance, thank you to HR for all the work you've done to support us. And now I think to the City Manager for our monthly staff recognition.
The Honorable Mayor, that'll be Chief Brown that'll be given.
Oh, Chief Brown, okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council
Good
members.
evening, Chief.
I don't know if James wants to be recognized, but we nominated him, so he's going to get recognized also. So I'm going to invite James Prachel to come on up here and recognize him as the Rock Star of the Month. James was born in Nebraska. He's a huge University of Nebraska Huskers fan. Him and his wife met and got married in 2005. They've been married for 20 years, or for 19 years. They've been together for 20 years total. They have a daughter and a son. James entered his law enforcement career in Nebraska with a state penitentiary, rising to the rank of sergeant before going to moving to Cheyenne, working for the Laramie Detention Center, Laramie County Detention Center, and then in August of 2005, becoming an officer with the Laramie Police Department. When he's not out patrolling the streets, James enjoys spending time outdoors with his family, camping on pontoon boats, fishing, and he's actually getting ready for some ice fishing now. A few other things about James. He's been with the Laramie Police Department for about 20 years, and I spent the last 3 years aggressively trying to get him to test for the sergeant's process and promote within our organization. He ultimately decided not to and took a position as a community service officer and is now responsible for solving all of your parking problems in the downtown area. And I also saw his family back there, so I'd like to recognize them. His wife works for the school district and continues to serve our community. His daughter's a cheerleader, and his son plays hockey. And it's been one of the greatest honors of my career to have James mentor me during my time here in Laramie, so I'll let him come up here and say a few words. So congratulations and thank you for your service, James.
Sure, appreciate it. I didn't know I was going to say anything, so I didn't prepare anything. And as I've met a couple of you, I'm very sick right now, so I'm just going to cut it short and just say thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Yes. And before we, did you have something else, Chief? Oh, no. Before we move on, well, I'll do it in a second. Counselors, is there any disclosures and/or conflicts of interest? None. All right. Vice Mayor, if you would motion to approve the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the consent agenda be approved and that each specific action on the consent agenda be approved as indicated.
Second.
I have a motion from Richardson, second from Vigil. City Clerk, if you can call the roll.
Vigil,
Yes.
Shumway,
Yes.
Bowling,
Yes.
Freed,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Lockhart,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. And before we move on to our regular agenda, item 9H was a resolution appointing 2 members to Council's Human Rights and Relations Commission. And I'd like to recognize Eric Boss, who's with us tonight. Eric, thank you very much for your volunteering for this position. And I'd like to also recognize Sam Burkett, who is not here this evening. Sam also serves on the Disabilities Advisory Board. So thank you for your contributions. We can't do it without you. All right, now we will move on to the regular agenda. Vice Mayor Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the Laramie City Council approve the contract between the City of Laramie and Todd Fieser as city manager and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
And I would like to make a grateful second.
I have a motion from Richardson and a second from Shumway.
Honorable Mayor, I just wanted to take a quick second before I respectfully recuse myself from the audience, but wanted to thank you for this opportunity to continue to work with you folks and to continue to serve this great community and our residents. I'm excited about it. I will tell you the thing that I'm most excited about is my chance to continue to work with our fabulous staff who work so hard to provide the services and the leadership for this community. And so it really is an honor. I'm excited to potentially be here, and I look forward to working in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fieser. All right. Director Russell, just in case there are questions,
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
Good evening, Director Russell. Do you have anything that you want to say, or shall we just go to
I
questions?
think just go to questions. It's all
Okay.
up-
Counselors, are there any questions that you have of Director Russell at this time? Vice Mayor.
I just would love, just for the public's knowledge, if we can share a little bit about Mr. Fieser's history working with cities and the city. I know that is something we all are aware of, but I think it would be great for the public to know as well as we're thinking about this position.
I think that's a great idea.
I'll tell you what I know. I know that Todd started out early on with Casper and working for their, I think their rec department, but I'm not positive, and then moved on to Cheyenne and did the same thing there for, I believe, 10 to 20 years. And then came here as the rec director, did that for 5 to 6 years before he became the assistant city manager, and has served the public of Laramie, the city of Laramie, with outstanding ethics and morals, and has done a really great job.
Thank you. Further questions? Thank you, Director. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Are there any comments? Councilor Freed?
Yeah, I think I speak for all of council. We'll see, but really excited for Todd to take on this role, and I think he's earned it, and really excited to see what he can do. Thanks.
Thank you. Here, go. Any other? All right. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Freed.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Vigil.
Aye.
Newman.
Yes.
Bowling.
Aye.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Richardson.
Aye.
Cumby.
Aye.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes, and we have a new city manager. Mr. Fieser, thank you for your willingness to serve in this position. I know you've thought about it carefully. All right. Item 12, Councilor Newman.
I move to approve Resolution 2026-09, authorizing the submission of an application to the State Loan and Investment Board for a loan through the State Revolving Fund on behalf of the governing body for the City of Laramie for the purchase of a hydro excavator truck, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
Motion by Newman, second by O'Doherty. Good evening, Director Webb.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. That was pretty cool. I've never had that kind of applause for any of my items. That's one of these days.
It's coming.
After this one? Okay. Mayor, Council, as you probably know, a couple years ago, we completed our lead service line investigation on the customer side of the service line. The next phase of the project is to look at that connection to the main on the city side. To do that, the least invasive way to do that is to hydro excavate to be able to visibly see that. This is what we're asking tonight, is your authorization to submit a loan application to the State Loan and Investment Board. The loan is for $640,000. That's approximately some of the quotes that we've gotten in on these types of trucks. It's for a 7-year term. This program offers the loans at a 0% interest rate and a minimum of 25% principal forgiveness. We are still working through the numbers, but it looks like we're going to have over 8,000 holes we need to put in the ground and look at. So it's going to be a multi-year project to get this completed. And then once we've identified those lines, anything that needs replaced will be coming back and replacing as phase 3 of the project. So with that, I'll take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Director. Council, questions? Councilor Lockhart.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Webb. For clarification, and excuse me for my ignorance, but what does the 25% principal forgiveness, I don't know what that is. Pardon me.
Yeah, Mayor, through you, it's basically 25% of the loan is forgiven, gone.
Follow up?
Thank you. So you don't have to pay 25%? Is like in your payment plan, you can not pay it at the end, or how does that work?
Yeah, so Mayor, through you, so instead of the $640,000 that we would apply for, 25% of that would be granted.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Further questions? Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Thanks for bringing this forward. Director Webb, how long do we have to complete the process? Do we know that yet?
Yeah, Mayor, through you, we have to complete anything that needs to be replaced needs to be completed by 2037.
And I have a follow-up.
Follow-up?
Would there be any opportunity, because I actually have two questions, if that's okay?
You may have two questions.
Are there other areas that we would use this hydro excavator, other opportunities around town?
Yeah, Mayor, through you. So by the time we get done with this project, this truck may be near the end of its useful life. However, we have a vac truck now that isn't quite up to the same specifications as this one. That truck is due for replacement in 2 years, and so what we would do is we just wouldn't replace that one, and we would keep this one in the fleet in place of that one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
And my second question now is kind of moot because you said this is going to take a lot of years. I was just wondering if it wasn't something that we would have that much use for, have we ever looked at opportunities for big equipment like this to do some like cost sharing, or other small towns like renting our equipment from us for their use for projects like this? Because I would assume like towns like Encampment will not be able to afford a $640,000 truck.
Mayor, through you, is what I'll say is that currently we have the 2 vac trucks in the fleet, and they're pretty busy, cleaning storm lines and sanitary sewer lines, and they're used when we have a water break to vac out those holes and stuff. So they're usually pretty busy. If they're not busy, they're on standby basically for an emergency situation. So we haven't really looked at that because the ones we have they're being used.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Councilor O'Doherty. Further questions? Thank you, Director.
You bet.
Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Any comments? City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Newman.
Aye.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Vigil.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Freed.
Aye.
Shumway.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Now we move on to item 13. Councilor O'Doherty.
I move to approve original ordinance 2116 on second reading, amending Laramie Municipal Code Title 13, Division 7, Chapter 13.80, related to stormwater drainage.
Second.
I have a motion from O'Doherty, second from Richardson. Good evening, Director Webb.
Mayor, Council, during first reading a couple weeks ago, I kind of walked through every single item that City Council asked for and that staff had recommended. I think tonight I'll do a quick summary and we can go from there. Throughout the document, you'll see many changes defining the condominiums and shared ownership areas that we talked about during the work sessions and then again a couple weeks ago. It highlights that the date that the fee will begin is July 1st, 2026. These amendments set the maximum amount of billing units at 120 for non-residential and 18 billing units for residential. So the max The max charge per parcel for a non-residential parcel would be $200.40, and for a non-residential parcel would be $30.06. We exempted the city pathways, which we talked about last week, and then because of the caps to be implemented, we removed the credit program. Most of the other changes are minor verbiage. So with that, I'll have any questions. If you want to dive in deeper, I'm fine to do that also.
Councilor O'Doherty.
I'd like to propose some language changes, and is this a good time
Yes,
to do that?
I think this is
Okay.
a good time to do it.
I move to amend original ordinance number 2116, replace surface water management utility in the second whereas statement to read surface water drainage fund. And in the last whereas, replace surface water drainage utility with surface water drainage fund.
Second.
I have a motion from O'Doherty and second from Richardson. Huh?
Do you want me to explain?
Please.
We've been using the term utility wrong, and it was being billed through utilities, but it's a fund. So like the mosquito fund, we're not delivering mosquitoes to people or taking them away. It happens to go on that bill. And so we learned that calling it a utility was kind of shorthand, but that's not really accurate. So according to the lawyers involved, it makes more sense to call it a fund.
It's more accurate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Mayor, I think that makes total sense. If you look at section 13.80.030, this ordinance is setting up a surface water drainage fund.
Councilors, any questions on that? Any further questions? Is there any public comment on the amendment to this language substituting fund for utility?
Yeah.
Seeing none, back to council. Any comments? Councilor Freed?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Webb. I just wanted to make a comment. A couple weeks ago, we heard from a member of the public that was concerned that we were removing the ability for people to ask questions or clarify their bill. We were just removing, I just want to make it clear for the public that we were just removing the ability to challenge your credits. Thank you. So we removed the ability to, this is the amendment.
This is the amendment, sir.
Pardon me.
That's okay. Any other comments on the amendment? Councilor Bowling.
Thank you for your diligence in making sure that our language is correct and consistent.
Thank you. City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Bowling.
Aye.
Freed.
Aye.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Vigil.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. Councilor O'Doherty.
I have a second amendment that is further down. I move to amend section 13.80.060 by replacing the word utility with municipal services billing systems. Again, it's because it's being billed through. You want me to say it again?
Yeah, can you just state where that was again? Sorry.
It's on page 4 at the bottom.
So section 13.80.060 by replacing the word utility with municipal services billing systems.
Second.
I have a motion by O'Doherty, a second by Richardson. Director?
Yeah, Mayor, this is really just a cleanup on something we missed from the beginning. If you see those other two spots, we already cleaned up to say municipal services, and we just missed that one there. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilors, questions? Councilor Newman, did you have a question? No? Any questions? Is there any public comment on this amendment? to the language? Any comments from council? All right. Again, thank you very much for your due diligence in making sure that our language is precise. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Freed.
Aye.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 noes, Your Honor.
Thank you. That motion passes. Now we are back to the main motion. So on the main motion, which are there any questions from council on the main motion? Is there any public comment on the main motion?
Mayor, unfortunately, Mr. Glass, Brett Glass, was with us. I missed a hand raise during our public hearing, so I just wanted to publicly apologize for that. But I did encourage him to send you any public comments that he did have, though.
Thank you. Any other public comment on this agenda item? Back to council comments. Councilor Newman.
Obviously, I've been voting no on this since I took my seat on council, it seems. That vote won't change today, but I will tell you that it might with whatever is going to happen tomorrow with our friends on the hill, over the hill. So I think I still can't support this until that is clarified to me a little bit more, and I think that is going to happen tomorrow. So don't be surprised if I change my vote, because I think we need this. I truly have seen the flooding that happens in Laramie. I know there are streets that need to be paved, but just deep inside, until I can get better clarification of what they meant between those two sections, I still have to vote no, but I encourage every one of you guys to continue voting yes.
Thank you, Councilor Newman. Any other comments? City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Shumway.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Bowling.
Aye.
Freed.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Newman.
No.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Aye.
That's 8 yeses and 1 no, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Next item, Councilor Lockhart.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the Laramie City Council approve Resolution 2026-10, authorizing the City of Laramie, Wyoming to enact a reimbursement resolution to pay for qualified capital expenditures and to seek reimbursement from proceeds of one or more tax-exempt leases for the fiscal year 2025 and 2026 biennium, and authorize the mayor and the city clerk to sign.
Second. I have a motion from Lockhart, second from Behill. Good evening, Director Wade.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. I believe that Councilmember Lockhart should get an award for how well he read through that very long motion. The item you have before you this evening is essentially an update to our existing lease reimbursement resolution. So I'm going to talk you through what these lease reimbursement resolutions are, and then we're going to talk about why the update is necessary. So the City Council did approve a lease reimbursement resolution on June 18th, 2024 for the biennium. That is standard city practice. These leases, they're called lease purchases or finance purchases. They're a way that governments can finance smaller types of capital acquisitions. They're a normal financing mechanism, and if we don't have a reimbursement resolution in place, it can get a little sticky based on the IRS regulations, and we have to make sure that we time the awarding of the financing in a really precise way. So if we have a reimbursement resolution, we take away away that additional administrative work of timing those leases right when we get the equipment delivered. And we actually can go out to bid for these leased transactions after we have equipment in hand. And it's much easier from a finance perspective. But in order to do that under the IRS code, and for these financings to remain tax exempt, which we know gets us favorable rates, we have to have this reimbursement resolution in place. And so this resolution is all about IRS code. So we have this resolution in place for the biennium. We typically always overestimate the amount of financing we'll need to do, and that's for the reason that if there's a downturn that happens that we really don't expect and we really need to use this type of financing to get a piece of essential equipment, we want to have a little bit of flexibility there. And so in this updated resolution, nothing is changing in the amount. There's still plenty of, we still had a number there that was completely reliable, but what we do need to change is that in the initial resolution, we said it was for vehicles and equipment only. That's our standard language. The IRS says it can be for any capital expenditures, and the way that we are choosing to finance City Hall to get a preferential rate is actually to do lease-back financing on our building, which is another kind of normal way that governments do these smaller capital projects. And so in order to be able to reimburse ourselves for the building improvements, because our initial resolution said vehicle and equipment only, we just need to make a friendly update to the resolution to make sure it includes all qualified capital expenditures. And when I use the word qualified capital expenditures, it's again all about the IRS. I hope I've done a good job explaining what I think feels like a pretty complicated thing. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Director. Councilors, questions? Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Director Wade. I think that was pretty clear for a real complicated thing.
I thought it was clear.
One thing I saw in the notes that we will include the broader kind of definition as we move forward on all of these. My very quick Googling of what all could be included brought up something about a couple other items. Are we sure that we've got everything encompassed? And just hoping we can triple check everything so that if we need to bring another something onto that list, it's just all encompassed and included in the future. But like I said, it was a very quick Google, and so I do not really rely on my Googling necessarily.
Honorable Mayor, through you to the Vice Mayor. Actually, I did check with our municipal advisor, Todd Bishop, who has advised that this language should cover us in our needs.
Great, yeah, thank you.
Very good. Further questions? Seeing none, is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, councilors, final comments? City Clerk, if you can please call the roll.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Freed.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. And after a clear explanation, that motion passes. Councilor Bowling, item 15.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the Laramie City Council approve land purchase agreement between City of Laramie, Wyoming, and Western Water Consultants Incorporated, doing business as WWC Engineering, for real property described as Lot 2A, Block 1 of the Skyline Plaza Addition and Lot 3, Block 1 of the Skyline Plaza Addition, City of Laramie, Albany County, Wyoming, and Resolution 2026-11, amending appropriations for the fiscal year 2025-2026 biennial budget for the City of Laramie, Wyoming, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the agreement and resolution.
Second.
I have a motion from Bowling and second from O'Doherty. Good evening, Chief Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I think that also gave Councilmember Lockhart a run for his money with that reading, so thank you. And I apologize. So this is a much easier resolution to explain. So it's an agreement with WWC. The lot next to the current police department is available. There's actually two lots. One's the building that's approximately 11,000 square feet, and then the other one is a vacant lot, and both lots combined is an additional 53,000 square feet. So what that gives us the ability to do is, as we go to the special purpose tax ballot initiative, it would give us the ability to have a site that's ready to build, that's connected to our current site. So it allows us to use our current evidence facility, and as part of the feasibility study recommendations, we would potentially add on to that. But what it also gives us is the ability to move the animal shelter down to the same location that the police department is, which for me, being the leader of the organization, it gives me the ability to kind of be on site at both locations more consistently. But it also gives us the ability to be across the street from Laws of the Laramie Animal Welfare Society, which just purchased and renovated a building right across the street. So initially, I was very hopeful that we would have a joint public safety facility. That ended up not working out due to the county's needs with their special purpose tax dollars. But we hope that this will work out for the city of the Laramie and our community. So I leave it to you to make that decision, and I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Councilors, questions for Chief Brown? Vice Mayor?
Full of questions tonight. Thanks, Chief Brown.
We like it.
Just looking at the proposed contract, can you share why there's no inspection contingency or appraisal contingency?
Through you, Mayor, Council Member Richardson, we actually did do an appraisal already,
okay.
And this is the price that it came back to. And that's the price listed in the recommendation. And then as far as the inspection, we anticipate that it will be a tear down, that we'll have to build from the ground up at that location for both, potentially the police department, but definitely for the animal shelter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing none, is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Council, any comments? Councilor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go on the right time this time. What an opportunity. I think this is a great idea, and what a way to use the resources that we have to get something right by the current police station. So I think it's a great idea. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Lockhart.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief Brown. I know you're pretty excited. Most of us are really excited about this, being able to have the animal shelter over there. And the building that you're in now was designed as an engineering firm, so office spaces and whatnot. So, of course, you're out of room. So I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to expand and fit your needs and growing needs.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Councilor. Further comments? Well, I think this is a very exciting time. It's something that's well overdue. We've been trying to do little patch fixes here and there. So to have a comprehensive plan go forward, it's a very fortunate time. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Bowling.
Aye.
Freed.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Vigil.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 noes, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk, and that motion passes. Next, Councilor Vigil.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Resolution 2026-12, adopting the Reconnect West Laramie Plan as certified by the Laramie Planning Commission, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Thank you. I have a motion by Vigil and a second by Lockhart. Good evening, Mr. Gabatuller.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of council. Today we take an important next step in the Reconnect West Laramie Plan. As you know, the plan has been in development for the past year, and this evening we're asking for formal adoption from this body. Just to reiterate, we had the $250,000 grant from the Federal Highway Administration for this effort. And in my opinion, it reflects not only the extensive technical analysis of 5 corridors that connect East and West Laramie and recommendations on those corridors, but also a very innovative and highly engaged method of community outreach. We went to local businesses, we went to Freedom Has a Birthday, we went to farmers markets, and we went door to door to businesses along Snowy Range Road in order to form a vision of where people needed to get to safely from West Laramie to East Laramie across these major barriers that we all know very well, including the railroad, the interstate, the river, and Snowy Range Road. In addition to the public outreach we did in person, we also had a very robust online presence where we gathered over 300 survey responses from residents and of West Side and all of Laramie. But all of these survey results, all of these conversations that we had at these events where many of you, I believe, attended, really built this plan. And so this plan, in our opinion, really captures the real community voices from that, from West Laramie. Where the rubber really hits the road in this planning effort, I know you all heard all this last week during our work session, but for the public to get a little education on this planning effort as well, we have 37 concrete recommendations from this plan that we will pursue funding for as we move along. Some of that is already in the works with some budget requests in the upcoming budget cycle. So we're really trying to ride the momentum of this plan and the recommendations from that in order to move this planning process forward. So again, today we're asking for the formal adoption from this body, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Councilors, questions? Thank you. Is any public comment on this agenda item? Back to council, and I just want to say it was very helpful to have the work session last week, for it to be absolutely fresh in my mind, to have received multiple emails from people and phone calls commenting on how positive they think about the plan as we come into a vote this week. I like the timing there. Further comments? Councilor Vigil.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so glad that it was mentioned just like everywhere that folks went to like get input and comment, because I think it's really a lot of work to meet people where they are. And so to be at like Freedom Has a Birthday, to be knocking on doors, all of those efforts, that takes a lot of time. And so I think, we get a diverse perspective when we take it upon ourselves to go out there and meet people where they are. And so I really appreciate that. And thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Further comments? And I just want to commend the entire planning department and all other staff on the work that has gone into this. It's been so much fun watching the progress and watching you all out there in the community. I've been at a number of these events and been able to observe community and public interaction and engagement. And as you said, Councilor Vigil, I think it really makes a difference that we get out there, and I appreciate the effort that's gone into this. Councilor Shumway.
I just want to make a comment about the terminology, and that's reconnect. I love the idea that if there's ever a chance that we can continue to connect the entire city of Laramie, it's a great idea. And if we ever start to slip, I love the idea to reconnect, because we need to be united as a community, and I think this is making that step to where physically we are now finding corridors and ways to completely connect the community, which is a great idea.
Thank you, Councilor Shumway. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Vigil.
Aye.
Shumway.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Freed.
Yes.
Bowling.
Aye.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Hi.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Next, item 17, Councilor Vigil.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the Laramie City Council approve Resolution 2026-13, adopting the 10-year public transportation plan as certified by the Laramie Planning Commission, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Second.
I have a motion from Vigil, second from Richardson. Good evening, Ms. Bork.
Good evening. And I need to push. Thank you. Doesn't say Mary push here. And again, similar to the Reconnect West project, you had our work session last week on the public transportation plan. We have our consultant from Mead & Hunt online if we have any additional questions. Again, this plan was a collaborative effort between the City of Laramie and the Albany County Transportation Authority. The study was funded by an FTA grant administered by WYDOT. Between this plan and the Reconnect West plan, hopefully tonight, Council will be able to mark as complete some of its strategic milestones that it has had on its public transportation and accessibility goals these last couple of years. Again, the goal of this plan was to evaluate existing transportation options, identify gaps in public transportation services, provide strategies for filling those gaps in a way that was non-duplicative, sustainable, and take into account our community development goals related to low and moderate income housing, livability, and age friendliness. This plan encompasses these goals and provides a way to move forward. I'm glad for the timing of this, again, same as you, Mayor, and that was able to coincide with the Reconnect West plan. We were able to double up a bit in our outreach efforts and share data. I walked around with Bill from DJNA, two people who I was new to Laramie, learned a lot about the weather and not to carry great big signs going down the street. Because planning took one side of the street, we took the other side of the street. That was kind of fun. And the timing was also really well placed because we were able to share our data with the Forge Laramie folks. So going forward, our transportation data will go to them. We've actually already done that. For those who've not been able to attend or listen to the meeting last week at our work session, we recently learned again that Laramie Connections will not be able to sustain its transportation services, which sadly leaves this community with fewer transportation resources, and their services were considered in this plan, just to remind everybody of that. Since last week, we've reached out to the university and have the following response from Paul Kunkel, the transportation director there. These are his words. I know the council is considering adoption of the plan tonight, so I just want to outline UW's initial position. UW is of course willing and planning to continue operating our existing routes during phase 1. However, any expansion during existing routes, including the addition of new routes or a significant increase in stops or extension of service hours, will require further in-depth discussion to evaluate financial feasibility, operational impacts, and to ensure we have the resources to support such expansion responsibility. We view phase 1 as an important opportunity to assess demand and performance, and we look forward to continuing collaborative discussions with the city and other partners as this plan moves forward. The university also, in Paul's comments, he added that he will present this plan to the university's facilities contracting committee in March, and we're still also working on the side of getting this moved forward with the county at their board of county commissioners. I have any questions here available for you.
Thank you, Mary. Councilors, questions? Councilor O'Doherty.
So the timing, we passed the plan because this is our vision, but it doesn't mean if things don't work out, somehow we have to come up with this, we can change as circumstances change.
Yes. Okay. It's open to that, yes.
Thank you.
Again, it's done in phases. Mayor, through you. Again, it's done in phases, and so we're talking about phase 1. It depends on how everything shakes out and shapes up.
Okay. Further questions? Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Do you happen to know if that's a public meeting, the UW's Transportation Committee?
I do not.
Okay.
But I can find that out and get that to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, back to council. Comments? Councilor Newman?
I just want to echo your comment from the last one. Having the work session last week has helped out phenomenal with these last two. So let's keep doing that.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you. I know it was a real heavy lift for staff to have this many plans happening at once. It was a lot, but it's really been, for me, I really have enjoyed the overlap. There are slight overlaps. We don't want to have redundancies necessarily, but I think they're smart overlaps where they've happened, and I hope we can, continue then to not just put those plans on the shelf, but think about how we incrementally move forward with each of them, which is great. So appreciate that. And just, I know I said it last week, but I am so excited about the reconnecting and the transportation plan happening at the same time, and just what can happen there in the synergy. So thanks.
Thank you. Councilor O'Doherty.
As I recall, Mr. Snowbarger last week when you talked about Laramie Connections, he said that, a lot of what they do is getting people to medical appointments. And I know that the hospital has to evaluate their community needs assessment. It would be nice to have more of the specialists that would come up here, but I wanted to, this is slightly tangent, I hope you'll forgive me, Mayor, but I heard from Mr. Gosar last night from the downtown clinic that, of course, transportation is hard for people to get to the downtown clinic. So now they've arranged something where volunteers can become, I think he said they set you up to become a Lyft driver so that you have the insurance or whatever. And then so volunteers can take people to the downtown clinic. And I think maybe that's something we could explore since we've lost Laramie Connections, something like that. Because I know there's a great need for people to get to appointments. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comment? Oh, Councilor Shumway.
Thank you, Mayor. For those of us that listened intently to the work session, the full build-out is further down the road. I believe that was a $6.5 million full build-out. We're doing phase one, and I know there's different pieces that can contribute to the success of that. A small portion will be the fare that individuals pay when they ride this line, and other would be grants. Other would be what are the contributions we can get from groups such as the University of Wyoming, which we need to keep that dialogue open. But I think we need to work to make sure that we have success in phase one so that then we can move on to the other 13 opportunities that we have in front of us.
Good point, sir. Further comment? Mary Bork, thank you very much for your work on this, for your public outreach, and for your work session that you did last week. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Shumway.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Freed.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 noes, Your Honor.
Thank you, City Clerk. That motion passes. Item 18, Councilor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that the Laramie City Council approve Resolution 2026-14, supporting Albany County's submission of an unmet housing grant application to the State Loan and Investment Board, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Second.
I have a motion by Freed, and I think a second by Richardson. So, City Manager.
Honorable Mayor, City Council, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. This is some further action as far as our continued work on trying to meet some of the housing needs in Laramie. The state of Wyoming recently released the Unmet Housing Needs Grant, which was $5 million statewide for agencies to apply to provide services. The intent behind this grant, and Albany County taking the lead, which is we fully support, is that they're going to try to acquire some land that was originally envisioned through my front door, which is in the west side, and use that land to start to develop workforce housing and development. The initial grant is for approximately, I believe, about $2.8 million. There is no required match, but as with all grants, if you provide some match, you're probably a little bit better off. So as such, the county, Commissioner Hoff and myself had thought that it would be good if each one of us contributed equally 10% of the grant match. And so that's what we're asking to do, is to support the grant plus commit the funding. My vision for that is for it to come out of the $5 million that the city of Laramie awarded for housing infrastructure, because land to me is the base infrastructure that we have to have for housing. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, City Manager. Councilors, any questions? Is there,
Sorry,
Vice Mayor.
Sorry, just in reading this and I'm realizing I maybe wasn't listening well. It says the resolution provides support for the application as well as a commitment of 50% of the intended, not required local match of 10%. So will we each do 5% or each do 5%?
Honorable Mayor, through you, we're each doing 5%. 10% is roughly 280,000, and half of that is the 140,000.
Great, thank you. I think it was not.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Back to council. Councilor Bowling?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Manager. Just to say, following every avenue, this is the biggest problem facing our state. It's a nationwide trend, and thank you for taking the opportunity when it arises and for working with the Commission.
Further comment, Councilor Lockhart.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Manager Fuser. I know, housing is big at your heart, and all of us too. So it just reminds me of that song, Buy Dirt. We need dirt. We need land to be able to do what we want to accomplish here. So I'm glad we can hopefully get that done. Thank you.
Councilor Freed.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Manager. I just want to echo what Council has said, and also just want to tell you that I'm using your slogan, "Every door is a good door," when I'm talking to the public. So it's already got a lot of traction. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Did you have a comment?
Honorable Mayor, that might be a new country western song for us to start.
Yes. Well, we've got a musician here that could help us get it together. I just want to say that I was a part of that meeting, and I was just so pleased Bailey Quick and Thad Hoff were there, and just the partnership and the buy-in, and let's do this. And I'd like to recognize also Fred Schmeckel for his work on that. And we're really moving forward, and it was just so nice to be working step by step with the county and us working as partners to do this. I think it's a really important step. City Clerk, if you can call the roll, please.
Freed.
Yes.
Lockhart.
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Behill.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
O'Doherty.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Cumby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 noes, Your Honor.
Excellent. That passes. Finally, is there any public comment on non-agenda item? Seeing none.
Honorable Mayor.
Oh, you have a public comment.
Honorable Mayor, I probably should have done this earlier in announcements, but I want to remind council about the council retreat this weekend. Friday, we'll start about 4 o'clock, and we should be done 8:30, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there, and then we'll start at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and we'll be done by 2 o'clock. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited about the program that we have planned for council. I believe it'll be very successful in shaping the future of our community in the upcoming years. So just want to make sure to remind you guys about the council this weekend.
And our goals, 3 to 5 goals.
3 to 5 goals. Yep.
And if you have any suggestions for the rules and procedures or boards and commissions, so.
Right. All righty. And before we go on for considerations of future work sessions, I think we need a photo of the new city manager with the council. City manager, if you could please come up.
You guys all want to put your hands out and I'll lay across.
Yeah, all right.
Trust, it's a
Just
trust
stand
fall.
anywhere, we'll stand.
We need Patty here for that.
Yeah.
That was driving me crazy the whole last hour.
I know, same.
I probably did.
Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Reminds me of a conversation we had maybe about 8 years ago.
Refresh my memory.
It's gonna be a blast. Let's do this, dog.
I wanted to get that on the record. Finally, council, is there any consideration for future council work session topics? Speak now or forever hold your peace until the next meeting.
I have a question.
Yes, sir?
I'm sorry, on the Board of Commissioners joint meeting for work session, I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Now that we had our spirited meeting a few months ago. So YDOT-STIP, can you explain that? What it's about? Thank you, City Manager.
Honorable Mayor, through you, the YDOT-STIP is the YDOT Strategic Transportation Improvement Plan, and annually they come through and talk to us about their planned improvements that may affect us statewide or even more just in our district, so that we're aware of what YDOT may have going on. That's where we'll probably hear some more information about their plans for Snowy Range Road or other work in our area that will affect us. You know, next year they'll probably talk to you a little bit about their work from 30th to the Grand Interchange, which is going to be, again, impactful in our community, but it's unfortunately those unnecessary evils or necessary evils that we have to take advantage of. But that's what YDOT-STIP is. You're welcome.
So are we ready for 21? Councilor O'Doherty.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion from O'Doherty, second from Newman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
I feel like